Hello, listeners of all ages. My name is Trent. I am sitting here with Betsy.
Oh, hello.
Welcome to another episode of Never Seen It. We're here to finish out the month of May with one more big movie. Yes, of course, it is Big Movie May, and we are going to finish it off with a movie that neither of us have seen yet.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Raging Bull. Betsy, this is a little movie by
A little movie
by
by a little director.
one Marty Scorsese.
Martin Scorsese.
No, we have never seen this movie, Betsy. It's another boxing movie. This is going to be, I think, the third boxing movie we've covered.
Third, fourth, fifth, who knows anymore? We have a lot of episodes.
By Mike, yes, it's over 300 episodes. So, Betsy, I don't really know much about this movie other than, well, one thing we just said, it's a boxing movie, it's Martin Scorsese, and I know it's a Robert De Niro. And it's in black and white. That's kind of all I know. I don't know anything about the plot. I do, however, know that this is based on a true guy, true story. Do you know anything more than that?
Boxing.
Yeah, boxing.
It's a movie about boxing.
It's a boxing man.
So here's a weird one that I know. The scene in the beginning of Ted 2 where Ted is having a fight with his wife is apparently ripped off from this movie.
Okay.
That's a very specific niche thing that I know about this.
All right.
I know it was nominated for a lot of awards. I know a lot of people really like this. It's on a lot of best of lists.
Yeah.
And I know I haven't watched it.
Yeah, 1980. This came out a few years after Rocky, which was a massive success.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of just being massive, I know, Betsy, for every big movie May, you're coming in here with some stats, and some figures.
Some numbers.
Hit the people with the stats.
Yes, I have crunched the numbers. So for Raging Bull, again, to emphasize how big a movie this is that
Yes.
neither of us has watched, this was nominated for 8 Academy Awards. It did not win nearly as many as some of the other previous entries we've done this month.
Yeah, that's kind of a Scorsese thing where he
Yeah.
gets nominated a lot, but then none of his movies
doesn't
really
win so much. Yeah, this was also nominated for Best Picture, but unlike the first 2 entries this month, this did not win for Best Picture.
All right.
It was the number 20 movie in the box office in the year 1980. When the AFI did their list of 100 greatest movies, it was number 4.
Holy shit.
Number 4.
Wow.
Okay.
I did not know that.
Then they did the list again, and it was still number 4. This is one of the situations where that did not move at all. And on the IMDb top 250, this is ranked number 168.
Okay,
So-
respectable.
Respectable. It is on the 250, but the AFI thing is pretty impressive.
Yeah, the AFI is more of the prestigious, hey, this is like top Oscar contenders of all time shit.
Yeah. These are like the best of the best. The fact that 10 years apart, it was still on the list and it didn't budge. It didn't go higher. It didn't go lower. It's
Yeah.
just number 4.
Yeah, one of them that we've covered here went from like in the 60s all the way down to the 90s or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that it stayed up there all those years later, that's really crazy. But anyway, Raging Bull. Again, I don't really know anything about this. This is going to be the first time for both of us. I've never seen a trailer for this. I don't even know if I've seen, clips or scenes from the movie.
Same. To my knowledge. I'm sitting here listening to you speak and I'm thinking, wait a second. No, I also don't think I've seen anything from this
As far as
movie.
like the visual nature of it, I know it's in black and white.
I know it's in black and white.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
So with that, we're going to finish off Big Movie May with Raging Bull from Martin Scorsese. We'll be right back. And we are back from Raging Bull. Betsy, what did you think of that Scorsese movie?
So I'm going to say this every time we watch a Scorsese movie. While I acknowledge his skills and importance as a director, I am about split on how I feel about his movies when I watch them.
You have said in the past.
I have said this.
It's about 50-50 with
Yeah.
the Scorsese movies you have seen so far, and you haven't seen all of them.
I have not seen all of them. Of the ones that I have seen, most of them I end up liking, but they take a while to let me rewatch and marinate on the thought.
Yeah.
This one's probably going to be one of them. I liked it. I think technically it is the most cinematic movie I've ever seen him make of all
Yeah.
of the ones that I've seen.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to talk about there, which we'll get into. The movie overall, I liked it.
Yeah.
I don't think I loved it, but it's one that I could see myself watching again.
Here's how I'm coming at this. This is not a boxing movie.
No.
This is a boxer movie. He lives and breathes the life of a boxer. He has no other life outside of this. Yeah, he's married, but he doesn't really do anything with his family.
He doesn't work very hard at the rest of his life.
No, not at all. So I think if you can take the expectations, at least my expectations anyway, if I can take that away from, okay, this is going to be a movie with a whole lot of boxing in it. The boxing scenes are kind of secondary. Like the best one is the final one, and that's the most boxing we see in the entire movie. They're kind of ancillary to the entire plot.
Yeah, they kind of move along. Like some portions of the movie, they sort of breeze through all his fights. Like there's a screenshot and we're having this montage of time passing, and it's here's a fight that he was in this year, and then here's some home videos, and then here's a fight and here's some home videos. And it's only a couple of minutes and we jump several years.
Yeah.
The boxing isn't that important to this part of the movie. It's just he kept on doing it. He kept on boxing.
Which I kind of appreciate, rather than just putting on screen, oh, this guy fought this many fights and he won all of them, or maybe even like a very quick succession thing of putting the text on screen and saying, hey, he won this one, he won this one, he won this one. No, it's a little bit of everything. It is the still shots of what you would see in like a boxing magazine or a pamphlet or flyer or whatever. It's something that you would maybe see in the newspaper, which I really liked. I really liked those still shots. And then you intersplice that with all the home movie footage from all the events in his family. He gets married. Well, he gets divorced first. We don't see that in the footage, but he gets married. They start having kids. Then his brother gets married.
They buy a house.
Yeah, they buy a house. It's all the big events in his life. So I kind of appreciated how they presented that, but it's not, I don't know, it's not really that special.
Yeah, so this is one of the things I didn't know about this was that it is based on a real person. So
Yeah.
I don't know who Jake LaMotta is. I do not know his boxing career, how many wins he had, how many losses he had, who he fought, when he fought him.
And way back in the day, boxers were a dime a dozen.
Yeah. In those days, certainly there were a lot more well-known boxers.
And it was just in the culture. Like, it was a regular thing. It's as regular as, like, UFC fights are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were the big event that everybody gathered around the TV. You're going to watch the fight? You're going to watch the fight tonight?
It's almost like they've pulled back on boxing because it's a really dangerous sport, because they found what happens when you get hit in the head
Jesus.
repeatedly.
I mean, we saw some of that here, but I guess we'll get into that. But as far as, like, the presentation of the movie itself, we kept on talking, just kind of conversing back and forth during it about the fact that this movie is shot not like a 1980 movie. This movie is shot like it was made in the 40s and 50s.
Absolutely. The style of this film, the pacing, when you look at everything else that was being made around the late 70s and early 80s, this looks more like a movie from the 40s.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot more movies from the 40s than you have, but you've seen enough to know that this is not what movies looked like in 1980.
Yeah, at the very least, that's not what it should look like.
Right. This is the same year that, Raiders of the Lost Ark was getting made.
Sure.
And we're in the middle of the Star Wars series.
Mm-hmm.
And then this movie comes out, and this is drastically different from the landscape of other movies that were being made.
Yeah.
But I liked it. That was the thing I will say that I really appreciated, was how the pacing was very different and the cinematography was very different.
How everything is kind of put together, like the editing of the fight scenes and the editing of just action in general was really fast paced, but then it slows way down for some of these more intimate scenes with him and his brother and him and his wife. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a kind of a cool juxtaposition, because We just watched Ben-Hur for the Patreon channel.
Yes,
That's
we did.
patreon.com/neverseenapod if you'd like to hear that episode. And I was talking in that episode about how the way that movie is, the acting is very like theatrical and it's dramatic and it's very big. And then this movie, this is very naturalistic acting to the point that it felt like half the time there was no script. Like it genuinely was so casual
Yeah.
that it felt like they were just improvising the whole thing. They knew the mood, they knew the vibe, and they just let them go.
And
Because when you put that together with the 1940s cinematography and filming style, it makes for a very interesting kind of movie.
And you could even say, okay, these actors, they've been on screen before, but it's not like they've already had this 40-year career. They've barely worked together.
Yeah.
So they don't really have this shorthand that you would have, if you've been working with somebody many, many, many times.
Yeah, De Niro and probably Scorsese had it by this point because they had made a
Yeah.
few movies together.
Right. But not necessarily between De Niro and Pesci.
No, it's weird to look at this movie now where it's like those two hadn't really worked together before, but we've seen them work together so many times since then.
Sure. You know what the trajectory of
Yeah.
their working friendship.
We see the future because
yeah.
we're in the future.
Yeah, but as I read, one of the scenes where Vicky meets Jack for the first time and Vicky's behind this chain link fence, that entire thing was completely improvised. And there's really no difference between that scene and other scenes in the movie. It's all very natural.
Yeah, like I said, to the degree it feels like there was no script. They're just like, what are you talking about? Huh? What do you mean?
Yeah,
what do you
it's a
mean?
lot
What do
of
I
that.
mean? It's a
Yeah.
lot of that.
And not only is it, that in the dialogue, but just in the environment of these rooms. The first scene where we see De Niro with his first wife, everything is just kind of cacophonous and there's things going on and he's fighting with his wife and Pesci is coming in the front door and there's a guy outside yelling at him to pipe down.
It really tells you about the neighborhood. Like
It's
these are
chaos.
these are all people. Everybody on the street knows everybody's business.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit if they're having a fight and throwing crap out the window. And it's like, you shut up, you shut up. It's so New York. I love it.
Everything is so New York in this. I mean, we were joking like every other phrase out of Joe Pesci's mouth is, "Oh yeah, forget about it. Don't worry." Yeah.
Yeah, what are you talking?
What are you talking
about? Forget about it.
It's all of that.
What do you mean? What are you saying?
Yeah, it's all that cliche stuff.
And then they say, you're a bum. You're a bum. Everyone's a
Yeah.
bum in this movie.
I like when De Niro and Pesci are talking about Vicky at the pool for the first time when they're kind of checking her out. De Niro says to Pesci, "Well, why do you gotta curse in front of me all the time? Come on, what are you doing?"
You're better than that.
And then he just proceeds to curse along the way. It's just, I don't know.
As he develops as a human. But yeah, like they know her. She's a neighborhood girl. Who is she? Does she go with them? Like, tell me about her. It's so like everybody just knows everybody around here.
And if they don't know about you, they're gonna find out about you.
Yeah, somebody they know knows you, and we're gonna make this happen.
Yeah, you're gonna start asking about him. Hey, you're cute. I want to have something to do with you, and I'm just gonna go down that road, even though she's 15.
And he's married.
Yeah,
It's icky now. We don't do that now. But
there's a lot of that in this movie that just isn't done anymore.
1941, people were weirdly okay with that. It's just a sign of the times. People actually get to grow up now, thank God.
Yeah,
It's creepy otherwise.
I mean, I'll say this: she did not look 15.
that other girl didn't look 14. So,
No.
yeah. Now, they did actually have an actress who's 19 years old playing
Yes,
Vicky.
yes.
So that was something, I guess. But, it's not like Scorsese hasn't gone down that road before. When he made Taxi Driver, Jodie Foster was like 12.
Yeah, Jodie Foster was really young.
And she had I think it was her older sister was her body double for the weird.
Okay,
Crossing a line
I haven't
things.
seen Taxi Driver either, Betsy.
Yeah.
We might have to do that one
Someday.
We've talked okay, let's take a director that we haven't seen a lot of their movies, like big name directors.
Or there's a ton that
and
we haven't
let's
watched.
just fill in the gaps. Let's just
Yeah.
cover everything. that we haven't
Scorsese
seen.
is definitely one of those because he's a guy
Yeah.
that makes a lot of movies. Some directors take their sweet fucking time and they've made 8 whole movies in 40 years.
Right.
He's got so many movies.
He really does, and it's a lot of them that, like that movie. Was it Silence?
Yeah. like a passion project like
Yeah,
that.
right.
3-hour movie
You
about.
think to yourself, oh, that's a Scorsese movie, but
Yeah.
it's kind of not.
And this one, it doesn't feel like what you call a Scorsese movie, quote unquote.
No, and all of the stuff that I was reading about this movie was that Scorsese didn't really want to do a sports movie. The anecdote that I read here that really kind of fascinated me. The movie that he made prior to this one in 1977 was called New York, New York.
Which was a musical.
Yeah, it completely bombed. So he was really on the outs. He was in a bad place. He overdosed on cocaine and almost died. And he was in the hospital. Robert De Niro came to visit him and said, hey, I want you to make this. I want you to make a boxing movie because, hey, in 1977, 78, boxing movies were everywhere. Everybody was trying to get a piece of the Rocky pie.
Yeah.
And De Niro finally convinced him, hey, you should make a boxing movie and I want to play the boxer. And at the time, Scorsese was thinking he was done in Hollywood, done in America making American movies. He was going to make this boxing movie and go to Europe and make smaller movies that nobody's going to see.
Pretty much. He's just like, my career's over.
Yeah.
I'm a failure.
But because De
Woe to me.
Niro came in and convinced him to go and make this movie, he became Martin Scorsese that we
Yeah.
know today.
Yeah. He made a bunch of movies in the 70s, but I would have to look to see how successful they were at the time.
Right.
It kind of feels like, though, looking at his history, apart from Taxi Driver in that decade, it really, you're right, wasn't until Raging Bull comes along that
He became a massive hit.
Yeah. People acknowledged that he knew what the fuck he was doing and he had the skills.
Yeah.
And watching this movie, I see it. I get it. Sometimes I feel like people who are creatives like that, whether they're writers, directors, they're making a musical, sometimes I think when they let go of what they think they know and understand and just do something to do it, it ends up being one of the best things they ever made.
Sometimes, yeah.
In the 80s, Stephen Sondheim was kind of at this point where he had made all these giant Broadway musicals and they were really successful. And he's like, you know what? I'm really fed up with these kinds of musicals. I want to do something kind of weird and experimental. And he wrote Sunday in the Park with George, which is very different from what he had done up to that point. And it was like an off-Broadway, really small production. He didn't expect it to be successful. He won like a fucking Pulitzer Prize or some shit like that. He won some major, massive awards from that piece of work because it was the most experimental, interesting, creative thing he had ever done.
Yeah, and when you think about these guys who, they are creatives and they do have a brilliant mind, but when you get pigeonholed into doing the same thing over and over and over again, like Scorsese kind of has been.
Yes and no, but go on.
That's the thing, though. People want him to make these gangster movies.
People want it, yeah.
They want him to work with De Niro and Pesci and just make more of those movies that you're already really known for, and don't waste your time doing, silence.
Yeah.
But with Sondheim, I'm sure, I don't really know anything about him as a person, but knowing that his name is attached to so many very, very popular things on Broadway, I'm sure that a guy like that has something inside of him that he really wants to get out, but can't sell it because it's not what he's already made before.
Yeah. And same thing with Scorsese. Like, he made this, what did he make? Mean Streets and Taxi Driver and these dirty,
The gritty
New
New
York movies.
Yeah.
And this is definitely a New York movie.
Sure.
But as I said, it's also through the lens of 1940s cinema. And it's black and white. And people had well moved beyond black and white movies at this point. It was a really weird choice, I'm sure, for him to do this in 1980 as a black and white film.
Right. And because so many other boxing movies were being made and coming out at the time, he kind of had to stand out a little bit. Like I said, this is not a boxing movie. This is a boxer movie.
This is a movie about a boxer.
Yeah, this isn't a genre film. It's not a sports movie. So he's taking those genres and putting his own spin on it to make it unique. And I think that's really what shines through.
Yeah. I really liked that element of it. I genuinely, because I've seen so many movies from the 1940s, 50s, I think I appreciate it more when I'm seeing other people do it well. Like we talked a few months ago about like Maestro, where he kind of starts in black and white, and as he goes through different eras in his career and the years pass, he changes the style. And there were moments that it worked. I don't know if I loved the way he did it in that movie.
I think the aesthetic works
with Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, if the audience can really pick up on it and it makes a difference in how the presentation is shown at you, that's fine. But at the very least, it helps portray to the audience, okay, what period of time are we in?
And we also talked about Mank a few years ago, a similar thing where the whole movie's in black and white. It's all supposed to look like a movie from the 1940s. And these are all examples of varying degrees of success. Like, I don't think they're all utter failures, but you're definitely taking a bigger risk by doing it in a specific style.
Yeah.
My point to that being, I think Scorsese's risk paid off with Raging Bull.
Totally.
So you touched on it a minute ago about how Robert De Niro was a big driving force in getting this movie made. So let's talk about actually him in this movie, because this is the movie he won a Best Actor award. And for a lot of the movie, I'm like, well, this guy sucks. And he's also not, Robert De Niro's not doing very much. As I said, it feels so natural and casual that it's just like, he's just doing the thing that in retrospect, I've seen Robert De Niro do a lot. He's the forget about it, me, blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
Getting in people's faces and just being generally combative.
Nothing like extraordinary. But then as the movie rolled along and like we got to that phase where he's retiring from boxing and Robert De Niro gained 60 pounds and he's got a prosthetic nose and his hair is super curly, he is like unrecognizable for the last chunk of the movie.
He completely transforms into this other guy who isn't boxing anymore. He doesn't hang around with his brother anymore for good reason.
His wife leaves him.
His wife is going to leave him. He bought a nightclub where he thinks that he's funny, so he's going to do a stand-up act every night and, have a band up there and just generally schmooze.
That's the thing about this era. When moderately famous people opened a club, they would go to the club because of your name and they would humor you. You think you're funny, I will laugh at you because then I can rub elbows with the semi-famous person.
Sure. I mean, it still happens these days. Like, professional athletes will open up a restaurant with their name on it and they have nothing to do with it, but they lend their name to the thing and that's enough to keep it successful.
Maybe once in a while they show up there.
Yeah, because tourists will come there and say, oh, let's go to the Brett Favre Steakhouse in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Or like Susan Sarandon's ping pong club in New York.
I've never heard of this.
You don't know about that?
No.
Yeah, she has like a chain of ping pong clubs. It's more than one.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure there are multiple locations. She loves ping pong and she has opened all of these ping pong places. I'm sorry, that has taken us way off topic. But Robert De Niro, there's that scene where I talked about there is a girl who's 14 who's in his club and I guess they go to the cops because she meets some men and some lines get crossed and she's clearly underage and he gets arrested. And when they throw him in this like fucking solitary confinement little booth because he's being dragged through there kicking and screaming, he starts beating his face against the wall and he is punching this wall and he is wailing in this guttural way and starts crying like, you're a fucking mess, you're a bum, you're a loser.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Here it is.
Yeah, there's the acting moment and I'll be honest with our listeners, Betsy, I could not watch that.
That was hard.
That was really hard to watch.
Yeah.
I had to look away because wow.
I don't think he was really punching the wall, but whatever person was doing the sound effects sure made it sound that way.
It really did. And I know he's not completely putting the full force there, but I still can't really, I can't experience that.
Yeah. It was very visceral, very graphic in the way that he was reacting to it. It wasn't like his knuckles were getting bloody and we were seeing
not at all.
But something about that sequence was, it was intense. And I'm like, okay. Oscar for you, sir.
And it's not even really just that one scene of him in the cell. He's got a progression here of we find out that he's just not very nice to ladies.
No, he's really one of those guys that he gets paranoid and jealous. And I think it's because he's self-conscious about himself.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it comes from. I'm not a psychologist.
He gets violently jealous.
Yeah, he does. Because the way he meets Vicky, he is married. He knows he's married. And you see in that first opening sequence, he and his wife do not get along.
No,
he
it is
treats
not
her like shit.
It is not a happy marriage.
No, they treat each other like shit.
Yes.
And then he very easily cheats on her. Like he does the thing where he takes Vicky back to the apartment and goes, hello, hello. Oh, she must be out shopping. And then, sit closer to me, sit on my lap, come see the house, sit on the bed. Like just seeing how far he can get. And then jump to 2 years later, and they've been fooling around this whole time.
Yeah, the affair is still going on, and he continues with his boxing thing.
Yeah.
And that's where he really starts being successful. We don't talk about divorce here, but
No.
but clearly it happens.
They kind of gloss over it.
Yeah.
So you would think that the way he established this relationship would make him more confident in the relationship as a whole. But because she's so beautiful and she actually has friends, because again, this is a neighborhood. Everybody fucking knows each other. They've known each other since they were fucking kids.
And it's still the 1940s
Yeah.
where, hey, women do not really go to work.
No. So she is like at the clubs saying hello to lifelong friends. And he's like, why were you talking to them? What was going on? What's
Yeah.
going on with you?
Where
Are you
did you
sleeping
go?
with him?
Where did you go? I went shopping. What did you do after that? I went to my sister's. What did you do after that? It just keeps on going. There's not a satisfactory answer.
Yeah, but and then he uses this energy and treats her like garbage and like beats the hell out of her.
Yeah,
Like literally punches her in the
And
face.
she responds in a way that is just going to get his goat even more.
Yeah. Is that what you want me to say? You want me
Yeah.
to say I fucked him? Yeah, I
Yeah,
fucked them all.
I fucked the entire block. What do you want me to say?
Yeah, is that what you wanted to hear? Because I'm not getting out of this conversation any other way, clearly.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what I say here. If I say absolutely not, you are the only person I have ever been with and will ever be with, it doesn't matter what I say because you're not going to be satisfied with any answer I give.
Yeah. And then his brother is just as bad. So, like, he
Yeah.
sees her out at the bar and he starts beating the shit out of somebody because they're talking to his brother's wife. And he goes to like a 15. He
Yeah.
goes way, way too far. And she just like exits the situation. And in that scene, she even says, I love your brother. I love him. He's like, oh, you do? Like, he's surprised by this.
Right.
Like it's a fucking shock that someone could actually love a person.
And have a life outside of being home all the time. Like,
Yeah.
what are you going to do to her? You're going to shackle her to the kitchen table so that she never leaves?
Yeah, you cannot contain her. She's clearly a woman with her own mind.
And, where we're talking about this now, and I'm just kind of thinking to myself, man, what a juxtaposition to what like 1950s television and a lot of movies were kind of depicting of the happy housewife and this idealistic version of the 1950s home life. That's not what actually existed back then at all.
No, I feel like this, maybe less violent, but
I don't know.
It is more common, the depiction, because a lot of people, they like to say that people didn't fool around before they got married. Everyone fooled around before they got married.
Right.
But then they would find themselves in a situation and have to rush to get married. And that is under no circumstances why you should be marrying somebody, but that's what people did, and which is why so many marriages were miserable in the 1940s and 50s.
Right.
And it was the early days of like really common practice to get divorced. This guy in the 1940s and 50s is now twice divorced because he's
Yeah.
a piece of shit and these women are smart to leave him. That was still kind of a faux pas in those days.
Divorce was, yeah, definitely.
It wasn't-
I mean, we watched the entirety of Mad Men, and that happened throughout the entire 60s.
Oh, yeah. How many people in
And
Mad
those-
Men got divorced?
Yeah, those guys came from that 1950s mentality into the 60s, and the entire culture is changing, and divorce is becoming more commonplace, or that becomes a more of an option for people.
Yeah, it was more
to that,
accessible.
yeah, prior to that, it was unthinkable. You would have had to have been attempted murder on you before that would even happen, and even then.
Yeah. And in
Yeah.
this, they could probably demonstrate like he kicks the shit out of me and I'm done with it. He beats me. He's a bad person. Let me out of this fucking
He's a
marriage.
boxer. It's okay. That's just what they're trained to do, Betsy.
Not to your wives. Not to your wives.
Well, also the demeanor of his wives changed from the first one to the second one, because in the first one she fought back, like she threw shit at him. her voice was raised just like his was.
She was a real New Yorker. She's
they
like,
were-
don't fuck with me.
They were equally, chaotic.
Yeah.
But then you switch over to this 15-year-old cute blonde who is never going to fight you back. And I think that's really apparent here with how he is treating her as opposed to the first wife. I mean, he left the first wife, or the first wife left him. I don't really know. But maybe he just wanted to have someone who would just be this meek person and never stand up for themselves.
Take care of him and be the little housewife.
Because if you do, fight back, for lack of a better word, he might literally fight you.
And it's not until she stands up for herself and, he punches her in the face and she comes back and just starts packing a suitcase. And, unfortunately, this is the thing that happens in most abusive relationships. They say,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'll do better. It's not going to happen again.
I can change. I'll never do it again.
And she falls for it. And they stay together for another few years until she finally is like, I'm leaving you. I didn't want to do it until I had all my ducks in a row and I'm getting custody and there's nothing you can do about it. So bye now. And then she throws off.
Right.
And that's it.
And I don't really know what the impetus was for that moment to happen. Like, what was the trigger there for her to finally up and decide, nope, kids are coming with me. I've got a lawyer. Don't try to fight this. You're never going to see me again.
Probably just he's at the club all the time and she knows the kind of shit he pulls in the club. Like we've seen him
Yeah.
like kissing on random women in this club.
Sure.
So I'm sure she's
quote
not
unquote women.
Yeah, she's not stupid. And she probably just was like, you know what? I'm good.
Like, this is the
I'm
last straw.
done.
Like, immediately he goes up to the car and makes an excuse. Oh yeah, it was a really busy night last night. This is the next morning. He's
Yeah.
been at that club all night.
This is the new normal for her is
Yeah.
he's at the club all the time. He's flirting with and kissing other women. And she's just like, I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
done.
I can't do this anymore.
Taking your money, taking your house, taking your kids. Goodbye.
Yeah. And I do wish that they would have given this actress more to do because, again, she's just, if she's not defending herself to either Joe Pesci or De Niro, then she's just kind of in the background. She's not doing much.
Hey, she got an Academy Award nomination.
Did she really?
Yeah, she was up for supporting actress. So
Okay.
she clearly was doing enough with what she had.
And, the first wife wasn't really on screen for very long to really get anything out of her.
No.
So, all right. Before we come back and talk about Joe Pesci, we're going to take a quick break for a word from our sponsor. We'll be right back.
Feeling run down, lethargic, a little bloated?
Yes. Oh, God, yes.
Well, have I got the prescription for you?
Oh, no, not another pill. I take enough of those that I find in the dumpster behind the Burger King.
Oh no, it's better than any dumpster pills. It's patreon.com/neverseenitpod.
I'm interested. Tell me more.
It's premium content from those jokers at Never Seen It. They have 4 other weekly shows, plus bonuses.
I've heard of those guys. They're like super talented and funny.
And sexy. Don't forget sexy.
Oh, then I'll definitely check them out. Thanks, disembodied voice.
Anytime.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first Joe Pesci movie we have covered on this show.
I feel like that's accurate.
I think it
because we
is.
hadn't gotten to a podcast yet when we watched The Irishman. It was not
Right.
recorded for posterity.
Right. So, what did you think of him in this?
Again, I have seen Joe Pesci do this before, but I have to remember that in 1980, he hadn't done this
This
before.
was kind of new.
Yeah, this was the youngest I've ever seen Joe Pesci.
Well, either of them.
Early.
For me, anyway.
Yeah, I've seen De Niro younger, but
Sure.
this is the earliest thing I've seen Joe Pesci do. I thought he's great in it. This is before, as I said, he came to be known for doing this kind of thing.
Yeah, this is just kind of the quintessential Joe Pesci role.
It's a decade before Home Alone. It's a decade before Goodfellas. It is before he becomes the angry, muttering.
The guy from Home Alone.
Yeah, the guy from Home Alone. So he's really good in it. But because I've seen those other movies, it's really hard to separate those two things in my mind.
One thing that I also read about this movie is the Joe Pesci character, the brother, was not originally in the script. It was just going to be the life of the boxer and his family life. That's it.
But he did have a brother.
He did have a brother, yes.
Yeah.
In fact, the brother did not like his portrayal in this movie, and he sued the production company for it.
I mean, sometimes that'll happen.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes people don't like honesty either.
Yeah, that's true. But I think his character does. I mean, I don't really think that it grounds his brother all that much, but at the very least, it is a force that is pushing him towards trying to be more successful, but it also enables the worst parts of him.
Yeah, he's trying really hard to get him to be nice to his wives and stop cheating on your wives and, just be
But
a
then
good
he's-
person and go make friends again.
Yeah, but then he still goes into that club and tries to, defend her honor.
He has the same equal parts of like angry and jealous and I'm just going to punch people. He has those same bad instincts that his brother has.
He does, but he doesn't let it out all that much because
when
I think he matures more.
Okay, but when he does, he almost goes farther than his brother. Like,
Yeah.
you never saw Jake in this movie bashing a guy's body in a taxi.
No.
You didn't see that from him. Yes, Jake punches his wife, but that is like the worst thing he does in this whole movie. And that is like the most extreme it gets between them. Yes, he slaps her around, but like Joe Pesci's character, like at the beginning of the movie, Jake says, I want you to hit me. He says, I'm not going to hit you. I'm not going to do it. Forget it. Forget about it. Forget about it. And then he ends up slapping him. So his brother starts punching him in the face. And like he takes off the little towel and he has a ring on and he's punching him in the head. So he has a way of like egging him on. Jake is bringing that out of him.
I will say, though, these two guys completely sold me as brothers.
Yes, I bought the energy. These two have a closeness and a familiarity that people who have worked together or known each other for a really long time
All
have.
of that completely shines through here.
Even-
and I think it just makes it more authentic.
Even if these two at this point really hadn't worked together, they probably knew each other because, again, it's like a neighborhood thing. Like, so many of these guys knew each other from the time they were
Sure.
fucking kids.
And these guys are literally about 6 months apart in age.
Yeah.
They're both born in 1943.
Yeah, they're kindred spirits, if nothing else. They're from the same town.
Yeah.
They have similar energy. They work with the same kind of guys. They have similar interests. I get it. Yeah. Jake really fucks up and he confronts his brother. He's like, oh, you fucked my wife? You fucked my wife? No, I didn't fuck your wife. I'm not even going to answer that question. He leaves, but then he has a fight with his wife because he's got to pick a fight with someone else because he's not done fighting. Then he walks down the block because they don't live that far apart and tries to beat the shit out of his brother.
I never thought about that. He literally walks over to his brother's house.
Because it's a neighborhood. They don't live that. That's what people did in the 40s and 50s.
You just
never
lived next to your friends and family.
No, you never moved cities. You never moved neighborhoods even. You
Yeah.
found a house or an apartment that was in the same building or down the block. And you never left like a 6-block radius.
Or in this era, like the suburbs start to be built, and a lot of people were just buying up plots of land because their friend was.
Yeah,
like, okay,
move
let's
together.
move out of the city. We're growing a family. Let's get a couple of houses just down the road from each other.
You'll live across the road or whatever it is.
And
But
that's what people really wanted. They wanted to be next to family and friends.
1950s suburban white picket fence.
That's right.
That's that shit. But this is the real stuff that was going on behind the white picket fence.
That's my point here. That other Leave It to Beaver shit never existed.
No. And this is the thing that drives a wedge between them. And Jake just keeps pushing people out of his life. And he tries. At one point, his wife finally convinces him, you should call your brother, make up with him. And he's on the phone and he listens to him, but he doesn't open his mouth. And it's not until
That's maybe one of the funniest
that
things
was
in
the
this
funniest
movie.
thing. But it's not until the very, very end of the movie that he happens to see him walking into a store one night and he waits for him outside and he tries to make up with him. And his brother clearly is not ready to make up with him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've got nothing. I'm a bum. I was wrong. Please, just give me a kiss. Let me love you.
And think about this. How many times, if they still are living near each other, how many times do you think that they saw each other in that amount of time between when he had the incident, he had the fight with him, and that scene? I imagine it's probably a lot.
They probably saw each other all the time without ever speaking to each other.
Yeah.
You just pretend the other one doesn't exist, which is why, when he walks out of the store, he's standing in front of him. He cannot miss him.
Right.
He doesn't even look at him. He pretends he's fucking invisible. So this is somebody who has practiced ignoring this man. It's not a surprise that he is standing out there. So you're right. He probably sees him all the time, and he has just learned to live like he is a ghost. He is not a physical being. I am walking right past him and I'm going about my business.
Yeah.
And he follows him down the street and he doesn't acknowledge him. And he gets to his car and he tries to ignore him. And it's not until he's literally like grabbing him and won't let go. And you can see from his body language that his brother is not into this hug.
Right. And just think about what happened in that fight. He did it in front of his entire family. The kids were watching the entire thing. They might have been completely traumatized.
Yeah, that was a fucked up way to accost somebody.
So I totally get why Joe Pesci would not want his own brother coming around there anymore because of what he did.
He says something to appease him. He's like, no, I'll call you. I don't think he's going to fucking call him.
And that's why I say, how many times has this happened in the past?
Yeah. I don't think they have interacted at all until this moment, but
not to that extent anyway.
No. I also feel like Jake is a proud son of a bitch, even though he's definitely in the wrong, and he's never going to apologize to this guy.
No.
Like, even in that sequence, he never said he was sorry. He just followed him down the street and was like, you're my brother, you're my brother, you're my brother.
Yeah, he doesn't acknowledge that I might have, really fucked up.
I have wronged you. He doesn't say that.
Nope.
He doesn't apologize to anybody. Even when he's like mean to his wife, Vicky says something about, this fighter, he's handsome, he's good looking. He's like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean?
She doesn't even know what the fuck he looks like.
No. And then when he goes in, Joe Pesci says, go make friends. Be nice to her. We'll take her out on the town, but don't say it in front of my wife because I'm taking somebody else. So they do the same thing. They both cheat on their wives. But he goes in there. He doesn't say a fucking word. He just starts kissing her and making her giggle. Like, he didn't apologize.
No.
There was no apology. Kind of have to figure that after a while she notices that. He never apologizes for anything. I'm done getting smacked around. I have some fucking dignity. I'm leaving.
And good for her.
And good for her. And even good for Joe Pesci, even though, he also, like I said, has some of those bad parts. But even he's like, nah, fuck that guy.
And there's even, there's something in the IMDb trivia about when the actual boxer that this is based on went to see the movie, the woman who played the wife, Vicky, was there as well. He asked his wife, his ex-wife at the time, was I really that bad? And she responded, you were worse. So, and there was also an anecdote in there about the fact that he really didn't, until he saw himself depicted on screen, he really didn't get that he was a bad guy. Like, man, until I see it all put together at once, I'm not really realizing what a psycho I was.
Well, I said something to you after it finished. The last thing on screen before the credits roll is a quote from the Bible.
Yeah.
And it's the part where it's, I once was blind, but now I see. And that's kind of a weird way to end this movie, but knowing that, like, I know you're making a face at me because I know Scorsese is very religious.
I'm just saying Scorsese knows how to end movies very, very weirdly.
Okay, yes.
That's what I'm saying.
But, if there is a part of it, like, it's contextually the timeline, if he didn't see the movie before he added that thing, the way I would interpret that is what you're saying. He was blind to the fact he was an asshole. And then he watched this movie and now he sees that he was an asshole.
I don't know.
But maybe that didn't get added until later. Maybe it was already in there and it's just a coincidence.
Or it could be, hey, until these very terrible things happen to you, you're never going to get it through your thick fucking head that you're a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
His wife, his second wife leaves him. His brother doesn't want to have anything to do with him.
I just don't understand why.
And he got put in fucking prison.
Mm-hmm.
You need to fucking learn what is going on in your life before you can improve anything.
Yeah. Turn that finger of blame right around.
Yeah. All right, I feel like we can probably start wrapping up this here episode. Betsy, I know you got some stuff over there to bring up. What do you got?
I believe I said this in the Rocky episode, but I do not understand boxing. Like, there's a whole point system.
Yep.
Like, at the beginning of the movie, he's fighting somebody and he loses on a technicality because he knocks a guy on the fucking ground and they say, by Ohio rules, the other guy wins.
Yeah, because the bell rang. And that's where the whole say by the bell thing comes from. Because the bell rang while he was down, that doesn't count as a knockout. And it was the final round of the entire fight. So because there wasn't technically a knockout that happened during the fight, during the duration of the fight, they have to go to the point system. And because that other boxer made more points than Jack did, then the other guy wins.
pugilism is stupid and so is boxing.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents, but I don't understand it. It's not my cup of tea, and that's okay. Something else, you were reading about the home videos that were
Yeah.
kind of in the time jump, like we're passing through time
Yeah,
now.
the
This is-
montage.
that Scorsese scratched the film himself to make
Yes.
it look old.
He took a coat hanger and took it to the film to scratch it up to make it look like more home videos type stuff.
The cracks and the pops.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked great. He did a good
It
job.
looked authentic.
But that would have taken for fucking ever. And lastly, did you know John Turturro was in this movie?
No.
Because this was like a blink and you'll miss it thing. But because I'm looking at this guy on the corner of the screen, if you didn't know this, listeners, he is in the scene at the beginning when they go to the club
For the
and
first time.
He sees the Vicky there, but before he gets up from his table, John Turturro is at his table. It is his first on-screen appearance. He has no lines of dialogue. He's
Yep.
just a fucking extra.
He's just an extra. He's not credited. He has no speaking role in whatsoever. Yeah, that was the first appearance of John Turturro on screen.
But he has such a distinct profile.
Yeah,
that
you're
I
gonna know
spotted
that guy,
him.
yeah.
Yeah. But you could easily miss him. He does not have any other scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
And I was screaming, it's John Turturro. What is he doing here?
Well, Betsy, somebody else that I was screaming at that was on screen was Tony Shalhoub.
That was not Tony Shalhoub. You're
Good
being very
God,
silly.
Does Joe Pesci look like Tony Shalhoub in this movie?
By the end of the movie.
Especially when he's got the stash going.
When he has the really tight curly hair and he has a little mustache,
Wow.
I was like, okay, here I see it. Like they don't look alike, but they totally look alike.
The first scene where I noticed it was when they were at the pool and it was raining. He's just kind of looking downward, and just the makeup of his face looked kind of like Tony Shalhoub.
The
but
angle
then, but
and-
then by the end, he grew the mustache. He got a little bit skinnier, and yeah, that was totally Tony Shalhoub.
You're such a dork.
But no, that was pretty much it. Other than the scene where Jack is gonna.
You keep calling him Jack. I like that in this movie they jump back and forth between calling him Jack and Jake.
Yeah, I do it too.
You are literally doing it while we're talking here.
I'm bad with names. What
You're
can
like,
I do?
what's his name? Mick? Zach? I don't know.
Anyway, Robert De Niro is about to get down with his new lady friend, and like a lot of athletes who have to perform.
They have rules.
There's no nookie before a big fight or
No.
before a big game. So instead of going through the entire thing,
He has to put a stop to it, Trey.
he has to put a stop to it. And he lets the lady pull his shirt up and kiss on him everywhere. And I'm sure he is fully erect. And he has to go into the bathroom where he already has a pitcher of ice water to douse himself with.
Yep, he pours ice water on his dick.
Yes, he does.
As one does. Oh boy.
What the fuck?
Oh boy.
Why? Why in the world did that need to be in there?
I don't know. It was a choice, and that's what happened.
I guess it was probably just something in the book and he liked it.
Maybe.
Because this is based off of a book.
Yeah. Well, maybe don't invite your lady friend over. Like she keeps saying, you made me promise not to touch you before a fight.
Right.
And then he's the one that wants to get
Take
freaky.
my pants off and then oops, take the rest of it off.
Yeah.
Take your panties off.
Who's really to blame for ice water on the dick in this situation?
He was prepared though. He was in the bathroom waiting for him.
See, he knew what he was doing. He had a plan. It might not have sounded like he had a plan, but he had a plan.
Sure. All right, Betsy. Anything else to talk about here about Raging Bull?
As I said, this is one that I think would require multiple viewings for me to really appreciate this movie personally.
Mm-hmm.
But from a technical standpoint, I completely understand. Like, this is definitely a pivotal moment in Martin Scorsese's career. Creatively, it is really, really interesting. There's a lot here to really appreciate. And I think if I were to watch this again, I would grow in how much I like this movie.
I agree. And I feel like the iconic scenes and moments in this movie are kind of the boxing moments, even though I keep on saying it, it's not a boxing movie.
It is and it isn't. There is a lot of really cool stuff in this movie. The boxing scenes, like the editing is what also won an Academy Award.
Absolutely.
And
this
it's
is the
great.
first
It's well
time,
done.
This is the first time a boxing movie where the director actually put a camera in the ring as opposed to off to the side, outside of the ropes.
Far away.
Yeah.
It was visceral and up close.
It was like it was another boxer in the ring, is how it was described. All right, I think that's where we are going to call it for Big Movie May. Before we tell you what we're going to do next month, first we got to tell you, if you would like to tell us what you thought about Big Movie May, all 4 of the movies we have covered already this month have been, very big movies. They're in the lexicon. People know everything about them. Please let us know what you thought about these episodes. Let us know what you think about the movies. If we were to do another Big Movie May, what are ones that we maybe missed that we should do next year? Email us those thoughts, neverseenitpod@gmail.com. You can also go on to social media. We're on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and Blue Sky, and I think that's it. Find all the links in the episode description and follow us over there.
Send us a message on any of those platforms.
Send us a message there if you're, not from the 90s and don't know what email is. But you know who does know what email is, Betsy?
Is it our superfan
It's
Stephanie?
our superfan Stephanie, who, of course, sent us an email right before we sat down to watch this movie about Taken. She says about Taken, Taken walked so that John Wick could run. That's an apt description. It is definitely a fun movie to watch. I love an action movie that is kind of mindless, but it's still interesting. And I feel like this is a good example of that. I also love a movie that is a tight 90 minutes.
Fuck yes.
I
love
a tight
that.
90.
This was a long weekend for us watching movies. Like we had some long
It's been a
hauls.
long month with long movies. She finishes with, we have been rewatching some shows recently and not movies. This month is pretty crazy with birthdays and preschool winding down, but once summer kicks off, I hope to rewatch more movies. Love you guys, from superfan Stephanie.
Oh, thank you as always, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephanie. Yes, May is quite crazy. There's a lot of, graduations happening and just kids getting out of school, and
Summer's
yeah.
beginning. It's almost here.
We have a graduation to go to too this summer.
Yeah,
But
not till June.
Not until June. The
Or
party
later.
The party's not till June. He already graduated, but yeah, the party's not for another
Yeah.
month. Anyway, yeah, Stephanie, I have also been rewatching a show recently, and it's a show we have mentioned on various shows in the past. I am in the middle of rewatching House of Cards.
Yeah, you have watched a lot of that this week, which is weird for you.
It's very strange for me.
You do not binge watch TV.
I don't.
I have tried so hard to get you to watch things, and you get really bored and distracted. And then other times you do this shit where you've watched 4 seasons in the last week and a half. What the fuck?
Crazy. I don't really know what came over me about that. But yeah, I'm in the middle of rewatching that. I'm gonna be done here in the next week.
It's an election year. That probably has something to do
Maybe.
with it.
I don't know. But Betsy, you are almost done with your X-Files rewatch.
Okay, but that's taken me a fucking year because I've been doing a
It's
podcast.
also 10 seasons plus 2 movies.
It's true. It's true.
It's
But
a
I'm
lot
almost
longer.
done.
So yes, we do watch some television, but we're never gonna talk about that on the show.
Never say never, but this is why we don't prioritize it.
Yes. Finally, we actually got a tweet from Rick about Taken as well. He says it is a deeply xenophobic movie that implies that traveling to any non-English speaking country is a death sentence, and outright says that the only reason his daughter is able to survive is because she's a virgin. Yeah, we talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yup.
It also kicks ass because it knows that good editing can make up for average hand-to-hand combat, and great acting and gravitas filling in the parts where no one is fighting is far more important to a good movie than a good fighter who can't act. Yeah. Also, it is the start of the Famke Johnson as mom or witch era. When did she play a witch? Do you know?
I would have to look into that.
I don't know.
I kind of lost track of Famke Janssen.
kind of went away after the X-Men movies were done.
Yeah. But yes, Rick, you are quite correct. That movie is very afraid of things it probably doesn't need to be. We talked about it in that episode where it's like, I'm not going to sit here and say human trafficking never happens. I'm just saying that maybe it doesn't happen to the extent they are portraying in that movie.
And you're not just going to go to a country that, again, like you said, doesn't speak English and immediately be taken advantage of because of that.
Well, yeah, that's right, because you're going to get human trafficked, obviously.
Clearly.
Obviously. But you're right. There's this weird thing that happens where it's like, they're weirdly afraid of stuff they probably don't need to be afraid of because that's not really how it is if you travel in Europe. But also the action kicks ass.
Absolutely. But of course, they're marketing this towards, a white American audience. So, hey, there you go. But thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Rick, for your notes about Taken. Again, if you would like to tell us about what your thoughts are about Taken or any other movie that we have covered, email address neverseenitpod@gmail.com, plus all the social media stuff, as well as our Patreon. Betsy, we have a Patreon where we cover an additional movie every single week on Wednesdays. Every single week we have something else coming out, along with some bonuses that come out every so often. Because May has 5 Wednesdays in it, we are putting out a brand new thing we've never done before. We did a watch along of one of our favorite movies.
We're going to see how that goes.
Yeah, we played it, we talked over it, and yeah, we recorded the entire thing.
And we hope you'll come over there and listen to it and watch along with us.
I really hope that it works out because I haven't edited it yet.
This is a hope and a prayer. We're being very weird and experimental over there, guys. So we really want you to come check it out. Patreon.com/neverseenitpod.
What Betsy said. But yeah, Betsy, that is the end of May. Big Movie May is in the past.
We've done it.
June is coming up next. What are we doing in June?
Well, Trent, we did big movies, and now we're going to do movies that are for the ladies. These are movies that are all female-led, in some cases directed by women, but it's all about women in the month of June.
Yeah, May was very, very male-centric.
There was a lot of dudes.
So it was a big
dudes,
old,
a lot of dicks.
It was a big old sausage fest everywhere. So we are going to change it up and do. We don't have a snappy name for the June ladies of June. I have no idea.
I don't know. Women-led movies.
There you go. So come back next week. The first Sunday in June is going to be Thelma and Louise. There's 2 ladies in that one.
There are. It's not just one. There are 2 women. 2 whole women.
2 whole women. But again, come back next week for another episode of Never Seen It. My name is Trent.
My name is Betsy.
We'll catch you then.
Bye, everyone.